Surface wounds clear easily. November 21, 2016. Dear ones, many continue to reel emotionally, following the chaos of the past few days. Do not worry, for such is no longer your natural state. It might take a few days to balance yourself, but you will. For you are no longer of 3D, and your step back is merely a step back, not a leap. You are healing parts of yourself you did not know were wounded. This healing phase is quite different from the clearing phase you experienced for months, years or even decades. Of course, you beg to differ, for you feel uncomfortable despite the ongoing promises and prophecies of joy. Think of this phase as a slight skin wound that never quite healed until you discovered a healing salve. For eons, you and all members of 3D society covered up, hid, and feared to address those insults, anger, slights, and fears that stopped you from being yourself. Perhaps it was no more than a neighbor ignoring you, or as fearful as you, wondering if you and your family would survive an Earth or human holocaust. Even though you did survive, the ongoing wound of, "When will it be my turn?" lingered throughout your being. Those hidden fears you treated with band-aids are now exposed for your final healing. Your skin wounds are surface level only. Perhaps that does not seem like much of a distinction now, but it will. As you apply your loving salve, you will be on your way. Those who have not cleared their internal beings are in the dark night of their soul. A phase you successfully completed. An ingrown toenail is unpleasant and most often, painful. And before that toenail is healed, it is your focus. But once you apply the correct medication, you forget the incident. The internal fears you collected before you expunged them in this lifetime lasted for eons and affected you externally and internally. You are quite able to attend a loving party with an ingrown toenail, but unlikely to do so if you mistrust the love of those at that party. That is the difference between a surface wound you will soon clear and a deeply held wound that impacts your being for eons. Perhaps you cannot yet distinguish between the two, for you are suffering. Your current suffering is at a surface level and will not be something you need to address for weeks or months, as was true for your eons of internally held fears. Maybe you are fearful that the Earth is slipping backward regarding diversity and ecology. Such is not true. For if you are reading this material, you have clarified within yourself what is acceptable to you. You have focused and cleared your fears to the point where you can express your fears, knowing deep within you that all is well, despite messages to the contrary. For what is happening now is not compliance, but instead, "This is not acceptable in my world." So it is you, en masse, are focusing on what you want, instead of what you believe is. Your current fears and anger are that all will continue as it has regarding your leaders and the Earth as a whole, instead of understanding that such fear is no longer valid. It is time for you to adjust to a new world where your past fears are no longer your reality. That is not to say that you will float above it all, as much as it is that you will discover within yourself your new being of love that will crush, yes, crush is the correct word, the fear that is now expressed. You no longer need to cower in the corner telling others that he or she did this or that to me. You are different beings than you were mere months ago. And so it is, even though you will sense and feel the hate, you know deep within you that is not your world, for you are creating a new world. Before this transition, the current anger and hate would have survived for decades, even eons, for that was your world. It is no longer. So it is that you can shine a light in those dark spaces, instead of cowering in the corner. This is a new world with new light. A light that will shine on all. And all you have to do to be part of this new revolution is to know deep within you that no one and nothing is more powerful than you. Perhaps you feel isolated, as if you are the only one shining your light, or as if you have no like-minded friends, or as if you are in a country or location so filled with hate that your puny light will not make a difference, or that you do not wish to be part of a social cultural revolution, or that you are tired and cannot fight any longer. Fighting is not your role, love is. Shining your light, so those out in the cold, as it were, know something else is available. Your light will touch your so-called leaders, for you no longer need leaders as much as the common person. Your light of love will radiate throughout the globe, even helping Earth move through its pain and anger. This is a win-win time, instead of the lose-lose times you have experienced for eons. The eons of fear that placed you on an ongoing wheel of hate, fear, retaliation, and then more hate. This is a time of love despite your fears, healing those who wish to heal, and allowing those who do not, to continue to experience their karmic wheel of hate and anger. We told you that your karmic slate is clean. And so it is despite your ongoing fears to the contrary. With that clean slate, once you acknowledge and heal your current surface fears, you will once again feel the freshness and joy you have already tapped into for brief periods. This time in your society is to allow those who have not yet started their transition journey to do so if they wish. For the factors you en masse created to be in your face hatred, as it were, gives all a chance to determine if they will continue their life of fear and hate, or emulate the love and joy that will soon return to you for much longer periods than has been true in the past. You will discover that the rage and fears of others does not impact you as it once did. That, in fact, it feels a bit silly. For you know who you are, without anyone needing to tell you who you should be. So be it. Amen. Channeled by Brenda Hoffman. www.lifetapestrycreations.com